Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen. Welcome back. We just cut off the thing there because I asked Traven to come back because we've got so little time. We first of all on Facebook, somebody had written in and asked specifically about potty training a 4-year-old having a hard time, that they've tried several different potties. Any ideas? And we've got some resources.
So I would say, potty training can be done right, and it is not that hard, honestly, but what you should do is follow a procedure. And the standard procedure that a lot of us in ABA use is called the Fox and Azrin procedure, and it is all over if you Google it. But a really good place to go is if you look on the Institute for Behavior Training, and the website is ibehavioraltraining.com, ibehavioraltraining.com. If you go on there, you'll see and just search, it says search courses, just search toilet training, everything you need to know. And it will take you through that procedure, and it'll guide you. It's video training, so it's very easy and you'll learn it, and you should be very successful if you follow all the instructions there. If you don't, then please write back in and tell us exactly where you fit, what happened. Like
Yes.
If there's a failure, tell us exactly what happened.
But it works across the board.
It really does.
But the key is following it. Because if you try to shortcut it, it won't work.
And it's not easy. I mean, it's intensive attention from you. It's not an easy thing you do. It's like a few days where you really need to focus on it.
Yeah, clear the decks. It's not the weekend when you're going to your brother's wedding.
Exactly.
No, I've heard people who are like, well, I tried the Fox and Azrin, but we were on planes, trains, buses, and at receptions. And I'm like, no, it's the weekend that you have nothing else going on, and you make sure that you have groceries or you have Postmates on speed dial, whatever,
Right.
and then it works, right? Okay. So I want to move on to this other question. Hi, what type of questions should I ask a developmental pediatrician? I go see one for the first time in 2 years since his diagnosis. I don't know what to expect, and thank you.
Yes,
Great question.
This is a very good question. And the amazing thing about developmental pediatricians is that they they do assessments, standardized testing, just like psychologists do. So I would request testing. And the specific testing that I would request, and I don't know your child's age, but assume he was diagnosed like around 3, this is 2 years later, so I'm assuming he's around 5 or 6. I would suggest that you ask for definitely social skills testing, definitely language testing. Language is very important because it's going to influence everything else. So language testing, and then it's up to you if you're interested. One of the things that I enjoy when I do testing is IQ testing, which is cognitive testing. So intelligence quotient, getting an IQ. And this is important that if your child is non-verbal or has a lower level of verbal ability, then they have to give a non-verbal IQ test, which is like the Merrill-Palmer, or there's lots of other tests that are for non-verbal kids. But if your child is verbal and their language functioning is pretty high, then they should get a verbal IQ test, a regular IQ test, and that's going to be the WIPSI or the WISC or whatever. The developmental pediatrician will know. So I think that's good. Any kind of developmental testing actually will just tell you what areas your child is still lagging on, and that's kind of important to know because you can work on those. And so that's where I would focus on. Social, language, developmental.
And I just want to say, because a lot of times parents get squeamish about doing an IQ test because they're afraid, and we were all told for centuries that IQ tests were static, that if your IQ was something, then that's what it was. And with kids with autism, I don't know if it's that way with everybody, but with kids with autism, it's not the case. So, and I'll tell you, it's worthwhile to go and get the IQ test so as your child grows each year and you see the progress. But I didn't know that, and people don't know that.
There's another test that I would highly recommend, which is an adaptive behavior test called the Vineland. It's the most stable test we've ever had in the world. It goes from age 0 to 99, so it's a fantastic test. the Vineland Adaptive Behavior Scale, VABS. That's one you should also do, right? Because it's also part of when you do an IQ test, you also want to do an adaptive test. Now, and to Shannon's point real quickly, don't let that number depress you or think, oh my God, these are all malleable. Everything changes when you do instruction. And by the way, the reason IQ tests are more valid for kids than adults is that as an adult, all you have to do to move your IQ needle is learn vocabulary.
Right.
So IQ is it changes. So you really need to not worry about what the score is, just learn from the detail of the test.
And I will say, parents don't love the Vineland. Like we you'll get emotional.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, but just do it anyway. There's some stuff that we just, and then cry afterwards, whatever, because it asks questions and it brings up all the things that are different. It's emotional.
Yeah.
Every single time I took the Vineland, I wanted to cry. But you know what? Look, in the end, it was all worth it. And you get to gauge progress. So
and
do
learn
it.
from the test, and don't just pay attention to the number. Read the report. Ask the pediatrician to explain to you what it means that your child has lower working memory. What does it mean? What is
and how can we work on it?
What are these things? Let them explain it to you so you understand. And sometimes they're wrong, and you will either agree or disagree, but the more important thing is you become aware of certain learning styles that your child has.
It will help you. Now, I have to cut you off because we got to let you go. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to answer an easy question that I can answer, so stick with us.